Gabon's transitional president, following the coup d'etat, General Brice Oligui Nguema, has met with Cameroon's president, Paul Biya, for the first time since coming into power. The military leader is asking Central African states to lift economic sanctions on his country before the 2025 elections. When Nguema ousted President Ali Bongo Ondimba in a bloodless coup on August 30, economic sanctions were imposed on the country by CEMAC, the six-nation Central Africa Economic and Monetary Community, which condemned the unconstitutional power shift and suspended Gabon. Nguema's visits to Cameroon ended a tour that has taken him to Chad, the Central African Republic, Equatorial Guinea, and the Republic of Congo since he seized power in August. And to talk about these, I've been joined by a political analyst, Asong Michael. Good afternoon, Asong. Glad to have you join me. Okay, if you can hear me, Asong, let me proceed with my question. How do you think General Nguema's meeting with President Biya impacts the political landscape in Gabon and also the overall Central African region?
Well, thank you very much for that question. It's worth noting that Gabon is part of the Central African Economic and Monetary Community. And we all know that for prosperity and development in Gabon, the Central African Economic and Monetary Community is an instrument or a means by which all these countries in the Central African region can cooperate amongst each other to prosper development. So, knowing fully well that on the 6th of October 2023, Gabon was being suspended from the CEMAC region. And of course, that will have a very strong impact on the economy of Gabon. And we know that for a country to be stable and prosperous, it needs a stable economy. So that's the reason why President Oligui Nguema is actually trying to see the doyens, the deans of the CEMAC region to actually discuss with them so that they could uplift these sanctions which were being placed on Gabon due to the coup which actually he led and took over power from Ali Bongo, which was actually condemned by all CEMAC presidents and also the ACAS. So I think that the strategy is one which is to go back, renegotiate on the table, plead with the leaders of the CEMAC region so that they could uplift these sanctions and permit Gabon to be more stable.
So, Asong, okay, I hear you, Asong. So, considering the call for lifting economic sanctions, what do you think are the implications, this can have, on the stability and socio-economic conditions within Gabon itself?
Well, the first thing is that if he's able to uplift these sanctions, then it means that actually he has actually succeeded in taking over power and actually setting himself on the leadership table. And this is very important for him because his leadership has not yet been confirmed. And we know that the confirmation of every president in the world is one which must be recognized by other African states or by the UN. And due to the fact that Gabon is part of the CEMAC, it is necessary for Oligui Nguema to have that endorsement that will come from these other presidents of the CEMAC region who actually condemned his coup. So the first thing will be that he will be able to sit on power and have legitimacy, even though he took power unconstitutionally and illegitimately. So that is one of the reasons. The second reason is that if he succeeds in uplifting these sanctions, then of course he will be able to continue with the different collaborations on an economic and monetary point of view in the CEMAC region, and that will give more stability to the Gabonese population that will actually permit them to be able to carry on their different activities in the region and thus prosper Gabon. So that will keep them stable. That will give the population more assurance that the new leader has been able to completely take over power from Ali Bongo and that he can actually proceed with everything that he has planned to do for Gabon. But nevertheless, if he's not able to do this, then it will show that his leadership has not been confirmed. And that is why one of the strategies he has used is that he has said that if he is being granted this plea which he has, that they should uplift the sanctions from Gabon, then he is assuring the CEMAC president that he's going to organize elections in
Asong, just to chip
2025
in
so
there,
that leadership
Asong,
should
yes,
return
just to
to the
chip in there,
civilians.
Asong, let's talk about Nguema's diplomatic tour across Central African states for a moment. What alliances or patterns do you envision, and how does it, in fact, contribute to political dynamics within CEMAC and also the broader region?
Well, as concerns political stability and geopolitics in the CEMAC region, the first issue that actually arises is the fact that President Oligui Nguema's leadership is actually that which is based on the violation of the rule of law. So most of the African states who did not accept his leadership at the first place are actually in a situation of ambiguity based on the fact that if his leadership is being confirmed by the fact that they are uplifting these sanctions, which were meant to force him to return power to leadership and actually place a sanction on all coups that might take place in Central Africa region or other places in Africa, then it therefore means that they will be encouraging such things. And we know that actually today in Cameroon, our president, Biya, has made already 41 years in power. Likewise, in Equatorial Guinea, who has made about 40 years, and in Congo, about 30 something. So this will actually be a platform where they are scared and they say, okay, if we encourage this, then might be the military in our own countries will actually come up with a coup to stop our. So that's why it's quite tricky. It's quite tricky because on one hand, the Gabonese population needs to be assured by being in the CEMAC region so that they could have economic and monetary stability. But on the other hand, the CEMAC is like, okay, if we brand this openly, like we are accepting it, then that therefore means that we are actually encouraging coups. And that is why on the negotiation table, we see the proposal coming up of an election being organized in 2025 by Oligui Nguema.
Thank you so much for your insight on the news. Asong Michael, a political analyst. Thank you so much.
Thank you.